Do you ever find yourself scrolling through a site like Etsy or Society6 trying to find decor for your apartment, but you're left feeling completely overwhelmed with the sheer daunting number of options you're confronted with?
Ooh, shiny object here, shiny object there.
And therefore you can't seem to make any decisions at all? Like some mischievous little decor goblin is guarding the bridge to your dream apartment, and in order to cross it, you must solve its riddles 3. And all of his riddles revolve around things like,
will this look good in my apartment? Will this make me happy? What is my style anyway? Who even am I?
It's enough to make you turn away from that bridge to your dream apartment and just say, peace out, decor goblin, your riddles have bested me, and I am opting out from making any decisions at all. But the problem with that is it means you're not creating the beautiful, inspiring apartment you deserve. You have to make decisions when it comes to decorating your space, even if it often feels like an unsolvable riddle. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my step-by-step process to choosing the right decor for you amidst a never-ending sea of options so that you can finally start making confident decisions that benefit your apartment and your lifestyle. Less overwhelm, less self-doubt, and less goblins involved. And if you want to dive deeper into this after watching this video, I definitely recommend you watch my free workshop, Decorate Your Dream Apartment Without Spending Money on the Wrong Decor for You, because that's an hour-long workshop that really dives deep into figuring out your style, making mood boards to establish your vision and picture whether things might look good together or not, and my shopping tips that will help you create a stylish space without breaking the bank. I will link to my workshop below. So the first step I recommend to figuring out if you should actually buy a certain piece of decor is to ask yourself, does it give me that sparkly feeling in my chest? And what I mean by this is, do you feel that really excited, sparkly, like feeling in love feeling when you're looking at a piece of decor? Does this piece of decor feel more like a long-term relationship, or does it feel like more of a one-night stand? If it feels like the latter, then it's probably not worth spending your money on, as fun as a good one-night stand can be. No, we're trying to get you to a place where you're spending your hard-earned money on things that give you the sparkly feelings. The whole reason why I'm doing this video, by the way, is this actually came up when I was talking to a group of my small apartment styling school students yesterday on Zoom. We were doing like a fun Q&A session where I was giving apartment styling advice to them. And one of my students asked a question that had to do with this exact thing. She has hundreds of things saved on Society6 on her wish list. And she just was like, how do I choose what to actually buy? And this is all too common. There are so many pretty things out there, but it's a matter of finding the right pretty things for you, and not just based on their prettiness level, but based on how much they resonate with you and how much they give you those sparkly feelings. So when you're looking at a piece of decor, do the sparkle check. So once a piece of decor passes your sparkle test, then it's time for step 2, which is to think about whether or not it fits in the overall visual story you're trying to tell in your space. When you're shopping for decor, you honestly shouldn't be buying things as individuals. You should be buying things thinking of the greater whole and how they fit in it. So what is the overall picture you're trying to paint in your space? And does that one piece of decor fit in that picture? You want to visualize the role that a piece of decor is going to play in the story you're telling. And if you have no idea what the overall visual story you're trying to tell in your space is, this is something else I told my small apartment styling school students yesterday. Think about it this way. If your apartment were a movie, what genre would it be? Look around your apartment right now and ask yourself that. Or think about what images on Pinterest really inspire you. Think about those spaces as stories, as movie genres. And think about what story or movie genre you want your space to evoke. For example, my space is definitely on the darker, moodier side. There's a lot of black and white photography of musicians in here, a lot of like gloomy weather artwork, various pieces of skull imagery, yet it also feels really warm and cozy. These are all the various characters in the movie of my apartment. And when you add all those pieces together, I would say my movie genre in here is rock and roll horror movie. Something like that. So try thinking about your apartment in this way and see if it helps inform what the overall visual style and story you want to tell might be. And when we bring it back into deciding on a single piece of decor, once you have that bigger story, that bigger vision, that bigger style you're going for, once you have that figured out, then you can zoom in on a single piece of decor and figure out, does this belong in the story? Does this belong in the movie? Would this character make sense in my movie, or would it feel totally out of place and incongruous to the plot? Step 3, when it comes to figuring out if you should buy a certain piece of decor, is actually the practical stuff. Measuring out if it will actually physically fit in your space. And if it does physically fit in the space, then it's a matter of figuring out if it fits in terms of scale and proportion. How would it measure up to the other things within the space? Will it look like it fits in and flows well? Or will it look too small and dwarfed compared to the other things? Or will it look too large and too overwhelming for the space? Just because an item will physically fit in your space doesn't mean it will flow well with everything else. And that's where you need to take scale and proportion into consideration. And I understand it's hard to visualize this. It's one of the tough things when it comes to picking decor, but the best you can do is measure things out, literally take a tape measure and measure out the dimensions of the piece you're thinking about buying and doing your very best to visualize how it will look in the space. Another practical thing you'll want to consider is return policy. Because if that thing doesn't actually end up fitting well in your space once you actually get it in, then you want to be able to make sure that you can return it. Unless you're willing to take the risk, which is fair too. But definitely look at the return policy. Figure that out so that you know what you're signing up for. So, if a single piece of decor passes the sparkle check, and it also fits within the visual story you're trying to convey in your space, and it will physically fit measurement-wise and scale and proportion-wise into your space, then it's time for the final step to the process of deciding whether or not a piece of decor is worthy of you in your space. And that is to do a final sparkle check. If after going through the 3 steps I've talked about, you still feel that smitten, sparkly, excited feeling in your chest about a piece of decor, then it is probably worth buying. And the main reason why you want to do a final sparkle check before clicking add to cart is it's entirely possible that after going through the first 3 steps, you might kind of start realizing that it's maybe not as good of a fit as you initially thought. So before you ultimately pull the trigger on a piece of decor or furniture, do one last check-in with yourself. Are you still smitten? Are you still excited? Are you still feeling the sparkly feels? And if that's the case, then, my friend, you have found a piece of decor that is worthy of you, and I say, buy it. Just remember that you can only create your dream apartment if you take action. And at a certain point, you just have to take that leap of faith and trust that you've done the inner work prior to buying, and then just enjoy your decor from there and do your best not to second guess your choices. Shopping for decor doesn't have to feel like a shitty riddle given by a shitty decor goblin. Instead, it can feel fun, it can feel light, it can feel empowering, and it can feel like you are authentically expressing your creative self. Remember, this is all supposed to be fun. Let me know in the comments below, where do you get hung up in the decor shopping process? Do you have a hard time figuring out what pieces you should actually buy? Do you ever feel overwhelmed with all the options? Let me know what shopping for decor is like for you below. And remember, your apartment is destined to be pretty, and you are pretty powerful. So before you can come back to this list of steps, God damn it, even if it often feels like an unsolvable riddle,